Hello again, this is Jesse Bocksnick, your Arkansas 4-H Outdoor Skills Instructor, and we've been talking to you a little bit about trimmer safety. And today we're going to go ahead and continue to talk about trimmer safety. As you can see, I'm wearing all the protective gear that we talked about in the last video, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about technique and things that might help you out in the field to be safer during the summertime. One of the first things you'll notice I'm actually kind of standing uphill, and notice the stuff that I was trimming was uphill from me. You want to make sure that's one of the techniques. If you can start on the downhill side and work your way up the hill, it's much safer, it's easier on you, less chance of falling or slipping, a lot less fatigue. Even just this slight incline here is quite a difference. If I turn around and face downhill, you notice how much more my body has to tilt just to get the same angle on the cutter head, okay? So you want to make sure that if you're having to cut on a hill, you'd rather be on the downhill side cutting up. Take a good wide stance. Don't keep your feet together. Take a good wide stance. Protect yourself as much as you can. All right. Also, these trimmers can get heavy all day. So if you happen to be running one of these professionally or hired out to one of your neighbors and it's very heavy, you can buy straps that are shoulder straps, so it'll suspend that weight from your shoulders, which will help you out quite a bit. That way, it's not all in your arms all the time. It'll be on your shoulders a little bit and allow you to control that machine just a little bit easier, especially in long hours or long hot operation. If you'll come right up here, you'll notice that these heads have certain rotations. This one says it right on the guard, all right? It has a counterclockwise rotation. That's very important when you're running one of these machines because it depends on which way you want to cut. Since this cuts counterclockwise and it's going that direction, if you got down on the ground, you're supposed to cut into the rotation, all right? That'll actually get the debris blowing away from you, so you may not have to use this safety equipment near as much, all right? I hope that makes sense. You cut into it, it blows the debris away from you. When it's rotating that direction, you cut this way, it actually knocks the debris and the fodder and stuff that you're cutting, it flings it towards you. So always make sure which way the cutter head's going and rotating around there. And speaking of cutter heads, that also reminds me, you want to make sure that you only use factory approved cutter heads. All right, this is a string trimmer that we have here. There's different types of heads you can put on here. When I'm talking about the head, I'm talking about the actual cutter part. You can actually take this off, and a lot of folks like to put metal brush cutters on here, but make sure you actually get one that's approved for your machine, for the size of your machine, so it'll operate correctly, okay? So you want to make sure you get the right one, and they actually cover that inside your operator's manual, and at your dealers. There's a lot of universal heads you can put on here, but make sure it's actually made for your machine. Another thing I notice a lot of folks remove is this safety shield right here. They don't see a point in it. This keeps debris off of you. It keeps your foot from getting close to the string trimmer. And if you'll notice, even on this trimmer, that's actually a cutter blade right there. It actually keeps this at a certain length. That way you can't just keep touching on the ground and getting this cord farther and farther out and closer to your feet, or overloading the machine. So you want to make sure that you keep this shield in place. It does more than just getting your way, I guess, as a lot of folks like to say. So make sure you don't remove any safety equipment from here. Make sure you use a proper head, proper stance, use proper techniques, use your safety equipment. And for those of y'all along here, also make sure you keep that up and put up. You don't want it to get caught in an intake or any moving parts when you're messing with one of these small engines as you have one of these standing behind you. You'll notice when you have that behind you, if you had very long hair, you actually could get that in a bind or get it caught in your machine. So always keep loose clothing and hair put up and be as safe as possible. If you have any more questions about outdoor skills or safety in general, please contact your local county extension office.